Hey, yo, what it do? What's going on, Elevation Talks family? Hey, yo, can I be honest with y'all for a second? Listen, have you ever looked at your life and thought, God, this cannot be the route you had in mind? Like, He's called you, right? Like, what's in your heart. Yeah, the vision He's giving you. But the road to get there, man, hold up. Like, it's nothing like you imagine. And I've been there. I'm still there. Matter of fact, yeah, like I've been living there for a long time. Yeah, there has been moments where I thought I was behind, moments where I questioned if I had missed an opportunity, moments where I wondered if God had forgotten about me because it seemed like everybody else's life was moving while mine felt paused. I know I'm not the only one that has experienced it. But y'all, this past weekend, God gave me one of those moments that makes you stop and look back. Not because everything finally makes sense, right? But because He reminded me that nothing that I've walked through has been wasted. Ooh wee. Y'all know this quote. I've been telling y'all this quote it's become my favorite quote. It's by Miles Monroe. And he says, life is lived forward, but it's understood backwards. Y'all, that quote has been it has been feeding me because it's like the more life that I'm having, and I'm having these more self-reflective moments. That's why it's important to slow down. And this is the only time that you should be looking back on your journey, is to really see God's fingerprints and how He has really just been keeping you. Oh, come on, Naye, calm down. He's been keeping you the entire time, y'all. Listen, this weekend, I had the opportunity to speak at Black Writers Weekend here in Atlanta. And oh my God, one of the panels that I was on was called Wrong Turn, Right Perspective, How to Turn Missteps into Opportunities. And before I even get into that, it is such an honor that God chose me to speak on that panel, because especially on that particular topic, because it's like, who better than me? Like, I'm literally walking through those seasons in my life, and I have walked through those seasons in previous seasons. So it's like I had so much to just add to the conversation. But y'all, as I was sitting on stage having this conversation, it hit me. 3 years ago, I was in this exact same building, same venue, different season. I wasn't backstage. I wasn't speaking. Nobody even knew my name. Do you hear me? I was sitting in the audience watching the speakers on stage. And I remember thinking to myself, one day I'm going to be up there. That's all I said. Like, I didn't know how, I didn't know when. Like, I just knew that something on the inside of me believed that I belonged on the stage one day. On top of the word that God had given me, which was, you're going to be an author, you're going to be a speaker. And so I didn't know when all of this was going to happen, because as y'all know, I was very hesitant in the beginning, like, oh no, Lord, you're going to have to get somebody else to do it, right? But it's crazy because fast forward 3 years, right? Same venue, different stage, different seat. Yeah, this time I wasn't watching the panel. I was one of the panelists. And in that moment, God whispered something to my spirit. Ooh, come on, Holy Spirit. Thank you. The detour wasn't keeping you from this moment. The detour was preparing you for it. And I mean, oh, yes, sir. That sits with me, because ain't nothing like lived experience. I know a lot of times we hear people talk, and, a lot of these people, they be talking, but they can't really relate. You know what I'm saying? Or they so far removed from their situation that they can't even really, it's a whole different level now. And it's just like, nah, yo, like there has been seasons where I thought God was truly delaying me. And especially after, being laid off, like watching opportunities pass by, wondering why certain doors weren't opening, like questioning why things are taking so long. Have y'all feel that? Man, listen, standing on that stage reminded me that God wasn't saying no. He was saying not yet. Because he wasn't just preparing opportunities, right? He was preparing me for the opportunities. And I think that's something that we all need to hear, because somewhere along the way, we've convinced ourselves that if life doesn't go according to plan, then somehow we've missed God, right? But what if the detour is the plan? Here's my first point that I want to make. The detour develops the version of you the destination requires. I think we spend so much time praying for opportunities that we forget opportunities come with responsibility. And we ask God for the platform, God started building the person. We ask for the influence, God started working on our character. We ask for the blessing, God starts developing our capacity, right? But here's the truth. You cannot receive something you are not ready to sustain. Yeah. And I don't know about you, right? But I'd rather wait for what God has for me than to rush into something I am not equipped to handle. My God, today. Listen, look. Looking back over these last few years, God was building things in me that nobody could see, right? Patience, consistency, humility, trust, stewardship. You hear me? My relationship with him became deeper because there were seasons where he was all I had. You know what I'm saying? And I at some point, I ain't gonna lie, I had felt some type of way. There would be people that could help me, but didn't help me, right? And I'm talking about, I've even been in situations where people would call me and asked me for help. And the only thing that I had to give them was a prayer. The only thing that I had to give them was encouraging words. But you know what? I started to see the value in not just, okay, there are value in my words, not just my resources, not just my finances, not let me just send you some money. Like God put me through a season. Come on, man. Come on, Naye. God put me through a season where it's like, I don't even have any money to give. And if you know me, you know I'm a fixer by nature, right? But I had to release that and allow God to do it. And so even when I say all I had was a prayer to give, that was enough. Come on, because there's power in my words. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I know that prayer changes things. So it's like when I speak, I'm already declaring and decreeing. Man, I feel like I'm about to shout. Look, let me simmer down. Hold on. Wait a minute. Let me stick to it. But yeah, man, like when I say my relationship with God just literally just became all I had, sometimes that's the position that he got to get you in, where it's literally just you and him and you can't depend on nobody else, right? And so for me, I wasn't just becoming a better speaker. You know what I'm saying? Like I was becoming a different person. And sometimes that's the greatest miracle. Not what God gives you, but who you become while you're waiting. And that's my second point. The detour reveals what's hiding inside of you. One thing I've learned is that pressure is honest. Pressure will reveal things that comfort never exposes. The detour revealed fear that I didn't know I had, the need to control outcomes, the temptation to compare my journey to others, like at like their highlight reel, right? And there were moments where I attached my worth to my productivity. And so I felt like if I wasn't producing, then I questioned my value. Yeah, if I wasn't winning publicly, I wondered if I was failing privately. But God had to deal with that. And because, like, so when I say God had to deal with it, right? If my identity is rooted in my accomplishments, then every closed door becomes an identity crisis. You understand what I'm saying? So God wanted me to know that before I became a speaker, man, before I became an author, before I became a showrunner, before any title people can give me, I am His. Whew, gosh, that is so good. Thank you, Holy Spirit. That feels amazing. Thank you. That's really good. When you know who you are in God, opportunities stop defining you. They simply become places where your identity shows up. And that goes to my next point. The detour positions you for what you can't see. This is probably my favorite one, right? Because if you asked me like 3 years ago what I wanted, I would have said, give me the stage. But God knew I needed more than a stage. I needed experiences. I needed stories. I needed testimonies. I needed perspective. And y'all remember I tell y'all all the time about my encounter with God when I was riding in the car. And He says, hey, you're going to be an author. You're going to be a speaker. Like, why don't you tell the people what I have done for you? Like, tell your stories. A lot of the things that I talk about now on stage, the stories, they've come from these experiences that I've been having, these encounters, these seasons that we be so quick to want to get out of. Meanwhile, these are the very testimonies. Yes, sir. Oh, yes. Come on, calm down. These are the very testimonies, right? That you're going to be able to use that's going to help somebody else as it continues to free you. You understand what I'm saying? Because my thing is, for me, anybody can get on a stage, right? But not everybody has something worth saying when they get there. Think about it. The very panel I was asked to speak on, wrong turn, right perspective. How could I have spoken authentically about that 3 years ago? I couldn't, because I hadn't lived it yet. And I didn't realize that every delay, every disappointment, every closed door, every season where I felt overlooked was becoming the material for the message God would even eventually ask me to share. That's how God works. Yeah, He'll have you live the lesson before He ever gives you the microphone to teach it. I'm going to say that one more time because that just fed me. He'll give you the lesson. My God. He'll have you live the lesson before He give you the microphone to teach it. That's why I don't regret the detours anymore. Because without it, there's no testimony. Y'all have heard that saying before, like, without a test, there's no testimony. You understand what I'm saying? Without it, there's no perspective. Without it, there's no authenticity. Without it, there's no message. So if you're listening today and you feel like life has taken a wrong turn, can I encourage you? Stop measuring your season by what hasn't happened yet. Instead, ask yourself, what is God producing in me that couldn't have been produced any other way? Because one day, you're going to find yourself standing in a place you used to pray for. And when you get there, you're going to realize something. The opportunity wasn't the miracle. The person you became on the way to it, that was the miracle. Listen, I'll leave you with this. Stop asking, God, when is the detour going to end? And start asking, God, Who are you building while I'm here? Because the answer to that question, that might be the key to the very door you've been praying will open. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, man. Listen, I appreciate everybody around the world, y'all. I'm talking about y'all know I don't really like to look at the numbers too much because I don't want to get caught up, right? But what I more so look at is the places that we are reaching. We are reaching so many different places around the world, places that I have never, ever been to. And I'm just like, wow, Lord, this ain't nobody but you, you know? And so when y'all see my podcast credits come up, y'all see that I put God in the credits because it's like this his show. This his show and I'm just the host. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like this was his plan, this was his idea. Like this all him and I'm just the vessel, man. So I really don't take it lightly when, people all around the world are listening in and they're getting fed and they experiencing transformation, man. Listen, if this episode encouraged you, don't keep it to yourself. You know what I mean? Share it with somebody who's been questioning their season. And remember, just because your journey took a detour doesn't mean that you've lost your destination. Sometimes the detour is exactly how God gets you there. Y'all, in the meantime, between time, keep running it up, man. Keep adding God to your conversations. Hey, yo, don't forget to check out that 8 seasons spiritual resource that I created. I'm telling y'all, if you want to know more perspective about what season you're experiencing, definitely grab a copy, check it out. I promise it's going to bless you. In the meantime, man, I'll catch y'all. All right. Much love.